he'll be adding some more pretty soon.
I think so.
So with that, Dorian Thompson-Robinson was impressive yet again.
Yep.
The rookie continues to ball out in preseason. Did he do enough yesterday to solidify himself as QB2, or no matter what he does in the preseason, will he be QB3 this year?
First of all, when you say DTR, it has to be pauses.
My bad. Let's do it.
DTR. It's aura.
See, you got the aura with like that country long aura. It's just aura.
Aura. You know what I'm saying?
Like there's an aura around him.
Right. He just got it. You know what I'm saying? And we love his aura. We love his play. He looked crisp again yesterday. I thought he was making some plays, did his thing. They loved him in the league. You talk around the league, they be like, ooh, that 17 is better than the 4. Listen, don't pump your brakes on that one. However, I will say he played very well. And if it was just on face value, he'd be in a cold competition with Josh Dobbs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's not how it works at quarterback. See, there's levels to this thing. If you guys don't know that by now, quarterback positions and kicking positions are very political. Those are positions where you don't just be messing around with stuff. Like, they put Josh Dobbs on ice just because they know what he did last year. He's been around. That counts for something as a quarterback. Like, there's other things that you can't really throw in. You can never compare a quarterback to the rest of the people because on just face value, the quarterback, he knows, all right, how much he can absorb a play. Will he put us in the right position? They know more about Josh Dobbs and where he will and won't throw the football in cases of emergency.
Although he has made a bad throw this year.
Well, he has.
He had a pick.
But they like his track record. Mm-hmm. People love a good track record, right? Look, you know what? It's like being an anchor. If you have a rookie anchor right out of college, right? What if the teleprompter go down?
Better start ad-libbing.
Look,
I've seen it happen.
Right, that
It ain't
teleprompter,
pretty.
it ain't pretty. But so you want to go with the rookie? I like.
Boom goes the dynamite.
There it is.
Great
That
all-time
one of the
clip.
greatest of all time. Or you want to go with a veteran that can ad-lib, get us right into that next block like it's nothing. You didn't even know that teleprompter went down. He may not look as good as that young anchor. He may not have all that nice, pretty makeup on and all the good.
And the hair.
And the hair. The hair is a big part of it. But that veteran, the old wily veteran, will get you through that broadcast. And if you want a backup quarterback, all you want is, if you out 3 games, give me a chance to go 2-1. Mm-hmm. If it's 4 games, we'll take 2-2. You just can't be 1-3 in the middle of a playoff.
Keep it afloat. I'm glad you mentioned politics, G, right there, because I hate politics. I've told y'all I try to stay as far away, but quarterback position is political.
Yes.
And in my mind, DTR has now surpassed FDR as the greatest 3-letter acronym person in the history of Cleveland. DTR over LBJ, over FDR,
Wow,
over LBJ 2.0, Lyndon B. Johnson.
So he's the new deal.
Or
the
LBJ LeBron James.
He's
better than LeBron and Lyndon B.
He got the new deal, Jay. The new deal.
The
DTR.
newest deal.
Exactly, yeah. No, in all seriousness, no, I don't think he'll surpass Josh Dobbs as quarterback, too, because as G alluded to, we've seen him in preseason. He's looked very good. I think he's actually looked better than good. I think he's looked really, really good. He's made very, very few mistakes. But you know what you have in Josh Dobbs, and when the situation gets into a chaotic situation when you lose your starting quarterback, all you want is to keep the boat afloat until Deshaun comes back. With that being said, 2 things about DTR did stand out to me last night. After John Kelly fumbled, Aditi came on the broadcast, and shout out to Aditi for asking Deshaun Watson about the beanie, by the way.
First question.
Why
are you wearing a beanie?
We got,
6 degrees.
She's on Tuesday. We will make sure we give her kudos for that. She had the report that he went over to John Kelly, consoled him, said, hey, it's going to be all right. Let's get him next time.
They had the video of it.
They had the video of it. And I'm not on side. I'm at A&M. I was on the sidelines, but that's a different situation than an NFL sideline. Aditi made the point of saying that's very uncommon. Then Joe Thomas echoed it for a third-string quarterback in a preseason game to go over. A third-string rookie quarterback in a preseason game, making his first career start to show that kind of leadership. Yep. And as a quarterback, you want your guy to be a leader. Secondly, I understand he's not playing against starters, but you played high school football at a high level. Jay, you've covered sports for so long. When I was in Texas, we covered some schools that had 53 kids. And every once in a while, there'd be a kid from that school that goes Power 5. Mm-hmm. And it didn't matter if he was playing against absolute nobodies you tell he was different. Mac McClung, when I was in Virginia, same way. Mac McClung played against a bunch of 4'3" white kids that couldn't jump. It didn't matter because he was that much better.
Yeah.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson looks like he could play in the NFL based on all the traits he exuberates and exhibits, despite the fact he's playing against twos. I don't care. I think that translates to ones. I'm not ready to say he's better than Deshaun Watson by any means, but he looks like he belongs in an NFL quarterback room as a number 2 at some point in his career.
He got a 15-yard penalty.
That was awesome.
For knocking a fool out.
That was awesome. Yeah.
He blocked somebody. Then was like, hold on. I caught you slipping too. Let me give you some work too. Like he's running out here blocking. Now Deshaun Watson did say, "Hey, listen, that's cool this year."
Yeah, don't be doing that.
That is Baker will tell you. Do not run up trying to tackle people. That's not what we want y'all doing.
Look, if you're looking for the apex point of Baker's career, that was the play.
Don't tackle.
I mean,
don't
remember, he was coming off a playoff victory and a near.
Yep.
They pushed the Kansas City Chiefs to the brink, a team that's bookended what they did that year with a couple of Super Bowl wins. That block.
Yep.
That was the beginning of the end.
That was a spiral.
So if anybody knows the cautionary tale, it's Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah.
And I hope he had
him.
a real firm conversation with the young man about how that might be really cool against Utah State when you were at UCLA. That is not going to fly in the NFL.
Especially, listen, I've been spooked. Last year changed my way I think about the quarterback position because, look, I just watched the 49ers melt there. I watched Nick Bosa out there and Warner and all those guys have no chance.
And with an all-time great defense.
And they were out there playing their tails off. And at that point, when you got Purdy goes down, and then I think was it Josh Johnson goes down,
Johnson, concussion.
and then you got McCaffrey and Kittle taking direct snaps, and then Purdy couldn't throw, he couldn't lift his arm over his shoulder. They're just running the ball out there, and it's just like, bro, you got to have quarterbacks. So now he will be on the roster. He'll be under that new protection of the broken glass type deal.
Right.
They put a quarterback on ice.
Break glass in case of emergency.
Right. Like you could put him in.
I think you guys absolutely nailed it. There's really no debate here. The question, though, was interesting. Did he do enough to be QB2? Yeah.
I think he did on the field.
He absolutely, and it's not debatable. When you look at his play, and then even separate from his numbers, when you just watch him play, and then you look at his numbers, you're like, oh yeah, if you put a piece of tape over the last name on the jersey and change the numbers, well, yeah, you're going, if Dobbs was wearing Robinson's jersey, you're still going to come to the same conclusion. But it's political, and that's not how these decisions are made. And I'm actually going to support that in this instance.
Yeah.
You want your NFL backup quarterback. You talk about some GMs will tell you in the top 5 of important positions is the backup quarterback.
Yep.
Because we all agree one thing can happen this year, and the season is toast. Deshaun Watson goes down. It's a wrap.
Just don't say it out loud.
We saw it last year.
Just don't say it out loud.
Last year, and every team that is at the top of the pecking order, Kansas City, Buffalo, they're all one snap away from watching their Super Bowl dream drift away.
And generally speaking, a quarterback usually has one major injury in his career. Tom Brady had his with the ACL.
Right. Dan Marino had the Achilles.
Had the Achilles.
Brett Favre was wildly lucky.
Yeah, he was
durable.
He
broke the record for the most consecutive games started.
Steve Young had the concussion.
Peyton Manning had the
concussions.
So they usually get one. So it's all about when you get them. And so you look at last year, Josh Dobbs arguably was DTR last year because he played better and more than Jacoby Brissett.
Right.
However, what did they say?
Jacoby's got the experience. He's been there and done that.
And it paid dividends because Jacoby got him seven wins.
I think they went out and got Dobbs for 3 reasons. One, he was familiar. Mm-hmm. 2, they saw what can happen with a backup quarterback, how your season can come unraveled.
Yeah. Yep.
So they wanted somebody that was familiar, that also had played well. But the most important thing to me was, and the reason Dobbs is back here is because of what happened in Tennessee. When Tannehill is out and their season is in the balance, they bring in Dobbs, who played incredibly well. They did not lose those games because of him.
Yeah.
he played well enough to put the Titans in position to make the playoffs.
He scored 27 points against the Cowboys. They just gave up 41.
That's right.
That's not on Josh Dobbs.
No,
that
it's
is
not.
on a bad
You score
Titans
27
defense.
points in the NFL, you should have a W next to
The
that
next game
line
wasn't
score.
nearly as good, but that first one was.
Right.
The Jaguars game.
Now,
not as good,
this is how I'll say it. If Dobbs comes in, should there be an emergency situation, and plays poorly for 2 games, so if there's a situation where Watson's going to be on the shelf for 4 or 6 or whatever, I think he's got a 2-game leash to do what we need him to do.
Yeah.
And if we don't see it, at that point, the season's slipping away anyhow.
Yeah, you got to make a move.
And here's the thing with guys, I feel so bad for young quarterbacks that go to teams that already have a good starting established quarterback. As much as I hate throwing the quarterback to the wolves, if the year plays out the way the Browns plan on it, 2 years from, or next year, in year 2, he's in the same spot. Well, we've never seen him do it, so we don't know if he can be the backup.
Right.
At some point, you got to put the guy in the game and kick the tires.
Yeah. So at some point, you hope, and then if he plays really, really well,
then he's the number 2.
and then it's the number 2, and then you can say, well, listen, has he transcended to that position where is he a Jordan? Is he a waiting in the wings guy? Is he, because that's a very hard thing to do, to transition from a guy who has no tape, who we like his talent, we drafted him, but is he? What do we have in him? Is he worth a draft pick? Should we trade him if he gets up to a number 2 pick, or is he the quarterback in waiting? Like
Deshaun Watson's young enough that we shouldn't have any thoughts of having a quarterback in waiting in Cleveland. I mean, he's 27 years old.
There it is.
If everything works
You're right.
out,
We shouldn't.
He should be playing here for 12 to 15 years.
But you always got to have a backup.
you know.
If DTR plays this year, as much fun as we've had watching and talking about DTR for the last 3 weeks, if DTR sees the field in the regular season,
It's a bad thing.
it is a catastrophe. It is it means Deshaun Watson's been hurt. It means Josh Dobbs is
Inconsistent
not playing well, and that means we are in a serious heap of
I
trouble.
won't go so far as to say it's a catastrophe, but I'll just say it's not good.
No.
If he sees the field.
Yeah.
If he has to come in a situation where Watson gets hurt and maybe for a couple of series or whatever, Dobbs can't go, that's okay. That happens. Third string quarterbacks, they see the field. Look what happened in San Francisco last year. If he plays extended minutes, if he's playing games and starting games, you're right. This thing got sideways somewhere, somehow, whether it was injury or otherwise, and it's not a good thing.
But don't you? But I do think that we haven't even talked about the defense yet. But I do think if there was any season where they could absorb 4 games, it's
this
with this
season.
roster.
Yeah.
They have a good offensive line.
Yeah.
They have a superstar at
There's
running
room
back.
for error.
There's solid receivers that are going to catch the ball for you, and it looks like they have a defense that's going to shut people down.
Sure.
So at least you could at this point you could tread water.
You just described the San Francisco 49ers season last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
If someone would have told any 49ers fan last year, Brock Purdy's going to be your guy,
They'd have
terrified.
laughed you
he
out
was
of the.
Mr. Irrelevant.
They'd have laughed you off.
I mean, DTR was a 5-year starter
Right.
at a Pac-12
For
traditional power.
an NFL coach who runs an offense that is intricate and
Very
translates
intricate.
right to the
exactly.
NFL.
So, I would have a much higher degree of comfort with DTR than Niners fans last year
yeah.
would have had with Brock Purdy.
Oh, yeah.
Most Niner fans are like, well, that's it, our season's over.
Out of here.
And it wasn't over. In fact, Mr. Irrelevant became Mr. Relevant. And then when he got knocked out, their season was over,
it was
which is
not.
the irony. All right, we have breaking news, I'm told, from